All right, so today is Sunday. It is rainy and it has rained all day here in Chicago. But it's Sundays with Sarah, and today we're talking about sheet pan cooking. Now, what's funny is when I asked some of you on Instagram if you knew what a sheet pan was, you said, "What's that?" And then I thought, maybe it's not something that people know. So a sheet pan is just a cookie sheet. And you might find in a lot of recipes and magazines and books it calls for a sheet pan. That's what this is. So just a fancy word for baking sheet. So have no fear. Today, it is your best friend because I've also been hearing some rumors that involve you. Ooh, close up. Don't get too close. I can see my fillings. That you're tired of cooking. That makes me sad, but I get it. I totally understand. You know what? It was really cool the first couple of weeks when you were locked in your house and you were like, I'm going to become a gourmand. I'm going to cook everything. I'll make banana bread. And now you're like over it. I get it. I know. Raise your hand. Who's over it? You know what? What's funny is I'm actually kind of over it myself. But we can cook. We can stay together. Cooking brings your family together. You just got to change your mindset, right? So it's all about thinking about things differently. In fact, I tell my little person over there, I tell her, if you have a positive attitude, then good things will happen. So I challenge you.
That's not what you call a little girl.
Little girl.
Not a little sous chef. A little girl.
She doesn't want to be called little sous chef anymore. Okay, I digress. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is shake off the negative, turn on the positive. You like that? I just came up with that. All right, so today I'm going to talk about sheet pan chicken tacos because one way to cure your ill of cooking, I don't even think that makes sense, is by making it simple, but also super flavorful. So using a sheet pan is an awesome way to do that. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite little recipes, and I will give you a heads up. I also have a whole article that I wrote all about sheet pan and how to create fabulous meals out of a bunch of different ingredients. So I will link to that for you guys so that you can see it, but it will give you all the intel. And we're going to get cooking. Let's get cooking. Okay. So to start, what you're going to do is you're going to build a little bit of a base. So grab yourself a bowl. You have all the ingredients because I already told you. And we're just going to build sort of like the little seasoning because every good sheet pan meal should have some seasoning. This is olive oil, a tablespoon. I've got a tablespoon of chili powder. Now, your choice on all this, okay? If you are not a big chili powder fan, use half the amount. You certainly don't have to go all out. This is a teaspoon of cumin. I love ground cumin. But again, if you don't love it, skip it. Put paprika in there or something. You do you. Garlic powder. I'm not usually a big fan of garlic powder, but in stuff like this, it works really well. Because if you're using whole garlic, it might burn. Because I should have mentioned, I always forget to mention to you, I have my oven preheated, 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And then in there, I also already have my baking sheet. Now that's a big tip for you. Tip of the day is to put your baking sheet in the oven while it's preheating. That's going to help kind of accelerate the cooking process so you and your family don't have to wait so long. You shouldn't have to wait so long. I feel like my energy's real low today, guys. Sorry about that. This rain's getting down.
I'm having very much fun with rain. I'm playing with my toys in the rain.
We should all be 7. See, that would just be the cure. If we were all just 7, it'd make life so much better. So, whoa, things are flying. You're going to stir that up. And I'm noticing it's a little drier than I'd like. That's what happens when you don't fully measure something. So, hold on. Sit tight. We're going to put a little more oil in there because we want it to be liquid enough that things are going to be moving around. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so now that that's ready, we set that aside. And I know that the recipe called for zucchini, but here's what's funny. I didn't have any zucchini left because I forgot that I made something with zucchini. So we problem solved, people. I had a carrot. I did. It was either that or cabbage, so I went with carrot. So we're going to do a carrot. We're going to put that in there. And I'm just making the slices of carrot. The key to the sheet pan vegetable situation, guys, is that they all have to be kind of the same size. So that's what helps cook things correctly. So those go right in the bowl. I'm going to take that out because we don't need that right now. And then I also have a red onion, and I think I called for a whole red onion, but I know my family, and I know they don't love onions like I do. So we're just gonna do half a red onion. Again, I'm gonna keep the cut kind of small, about the same size of those carrots, because I know, again, that I want everything to kind of cook evenly. So I'm gonna keep them all about the same size. That's the key, keep it all the same size. And then I've got a bell pepper here. And we'll save the ends for another function. There are a million ways to cut a bell pepper, just so you know. So my way isn't the only way for show. Again, we're just gonna cut this into strips that match kind of the same size of those red onions. Things are getting sloppy over here.
You're getting sloppy over there, in my game.
You're getting sloppy over there, great. Let's see how sloppy we can all get.
Last place.
Last place, oh, it's tragic. Okay. So we've got our bell pepper in there too. So we got all of our produce. It looks pretty delicious, don't you think? Yeah, you do. Next up, you guys, I thought you might like to see this. So we're gonna do a little switcheroo action here. Next up, we're gonna cut some chicken. So I got a little trick for you on the chicken. I can't stand cutting chicken. I think it's gross. I don't like anything about it, but I will tell you this. What you do to make it less gross and annoying to you is you freeze it. So if you know you're gonna make this meal, stick it in the freezer a couple hours before you decide to start prepping it. And the reason being is that it's gonna help you cook it a lot more efficiently. Oh, look at that. They're like such the same size, aren't they? Look at that uniformity. That's the problem. That's why we have to cut it, because it all has to be kind of the same size. Now, I know you know chicken breast. Maybe you don't. If you don't, here's a chicken breast. One half is always bigger than the other half. Yeah, that skinny side and the big side. So I can make all kinds of jokes here, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna keep it peachy. Okay, so what you're gonna do is cut. Don't be alarmed, that's my own hair. We're keeping it real around here, even though my hair's up. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut the thicker end off. And then we're gonna tackle that guy first by cutting him in half, because we want thin strips. Again, we're kind of cutting everything the same size. So now I've got a thinner plank that kind of matches, you'll see when I cut it, the size of those onions and peppers and stuff. So I could have frozen this a little bit longer, but c'est la vie, right guys? Live in the now, yo.
C'est la vie, mamma mia.
Oh, mon ami.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. Totes.
I'm so shiny.
You're so shiny. Your little Moana. Okay, so see, I've got strips. That's pretty cool, huh? And
she has strips.
I have strips.
Now I must touch it, and then I'm
No, it's raw chicken, dude.
Oh, ew.
That's all you gotta say to my kid. It's raw chicken. Don't touch that. If you notice that the pieces are a little bit big still in the end here, like I'm noticing these guys are still a little bit large, you can cut them in half. So I'll just kind of do this and just give them a little slice, because I want it all to cook about the same. Okay, so then this guy, I'll cut those up in a second. Again, he's big. You can watch me do this again. Kind of treat it like you would an onion. You can slice it in half. I stand it up on the end because it's a little hard to work through at the end. But partially freezing this makes this process so much easier. So just strips. This is about a pound of chicken-ish, give or take a few ounces. Are we having fun yet, guys?
I'm having fun.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're having fun. What's more fun than cutting raw chicken and talking about it? I can't think of a single thing. You know, you'll notice, like, there's no strategery here. No strategery. Okay. We're just having fun. Here we go. All right, now talk amongst yourselves, because I'm going to go be good and wash my hands. So I've got my chicken in here. I've got my onion. I've got my carrot, zucchini, whatever you got kicking. Now you're going to stir it all up. And until you got stuff coated. You gotta stir it all up till it's all coated. As usual, I'm riding the struggle bus. The struggle bus is real.
Could you do that with your hands?
Oh, that's so cute. I love that question. Actually, I would definitely do it with my hands. Because I would just washed my hands.
Yeah, before. Just a thought.
Is that your question?
Just a thought.
Is that your question? This is how my house works. I do something that's illogical, and then my husband recommends something that's totally way more logical, and I love that. That's why I'm there.
Mom, I'm sorry that sometimes I say new things in your videos, like
Oh.
being a baby.
All the truth is coming out. There are no secrets anymore.
And also that I won't say you're teaching.
It's okay. We don't need to like. This is a little pan spray. I would probably do some. You could do oil too. This is already hot. Remember, I just pulled it out of my oven, and then I'm just gonna dump. Be careful because it's hot. Watch me burn myself. Look, it's already starting to cook. Isn't that fantastic? So because you preheated it, it's not gonna take as long to cook. So you just spread it out on your pan. If you want to double this, say you're making it because you've got like 6 people in your family. You probably don't have like 6 people. You probably have 6. I'm so bad at that.
Like 6 people.
I know. What does that even
like
mean?
6 people actually makes sense.
Oh, does it?
Likes?
It does if you are a child from like this generation, sure. Like is everything. Okay. You could do 2 sheet pans. All in one pan. It's going to become a taco. Here it goes into the oven. I got it on the middle rack. Again, we got the oven shot. Isn't that nice? It's nice. That's going to be about 15 minutes for that to be done. So next up is more stuff, okay? So I love vegetables and chicken. That's a great protein. But next up, I'm also going to add some black beans. Now, these are straight cans from a bean. Cans from a bean? Beans from a can. Goodness gracious. And those are gross. Have you ever had a bean from a can? It's not very good. So what I like to do is jazz it up a bit by throwing it on top of that. So before I do that though, I'm gonna season it a little bit. This is a little bit of salt and then some olive oil. Stir that up. And then here's what's gonna happen. When I've reached about 12 minutes or so on my oven, I'm going to add the beans on top of that. I'm gonna give it a stir, and then I'm gonna pop it back in for about 5 more minutes. And then that way I'm gonna have some warm seasoned beans also as part of my taco. So I thought that would be a fun thing to share with you. Also, what you could do is if you have a leafy green, like kale or spinach, you could add that with these beans, and then add them at the end too. So
show them your Vitamix you just got.
Okay. No, they don't want to see that right now. So that's what I'm going to do in about 12 minutes. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to pull out some tortillas. I'm going to warm them up. I'm going to make some guacamole. We're going to have some tacos for dinner. And it's just that easy. All one pan. And if you wanted to also, I forgot to mention, you could also buy chicken tenders. You know, they're already cut up for you. They're more expensive though. So I recommend just buying the regular chicken breast, and you saw how easy it was. Wasn't that hard? Cut it up yourself. So that's all I've got. This was a hot mess. I love you guys. Does anybody have any questions? Bueller? It's okay. I feel ya. I'll link to some stuff. You can check it out later. Thanks so much for joining me on this Sunday with Sarah. Until next time, my friends. Stay healthy. Keep cooking. This will all be over someday.
Besties. Even though I don't know if they're my friends. Hi.
Oh, okay. We're getting a wave. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a great Sunday.
I just want them to see
Bye.
my hands.